All right, I'm almost there. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Here's going to continue. Excellent. Oh my gosh, all the things I have to do behind the scenage. Okay, almost up. We're up on Facebook in a couple of seconds. Hey, there it works again. I think. Excellent. So we're up on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and excellent. Good Lord. So much rigmarole. And stream has been updated and I'll bring on me solo and here I am. Hi. Hey, everybody. So I'm live from the basement. Finding a place to stream where I'm out of everyone's way during the holidays is a bit of a tooth pull, I have to say. Hold on, this should be, hide this guy. Here, there we go. But I managed to do it, and hello, and hi, everybody. Can't hear me? Wait, you should be able to hear me now. Da, da, da. Check it, check it, check it. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Hi. I'm glad you're here. I really am. Everybody can hear me okay? Something's kind of reasonable, whatever. I am in the unfinished rec room at my cousin's house. Oh, what's happening? Super chat from Michael. Thank you so much. Welcome. Good to see you guys. Oh, my goodness. Hope I had a great Christmas. I did. Thank you, Michael McAndrews. I had a great Christmas. Thank you for asking. And it's kind of still ongoing. And I'm sure a lot of folks that understand this, that when you have like mixed family holidays and the like, where everybody is like, especially if you're the one with the kid that's new, so you've got to go on the parade where you're like, see him, still healthy, still smart, still cool, still a good kid. Okay, next house, and everybody wants to see him. Hold on, let me bring in the chat room so you guys can see who I'm talking to and how. Oh, that's a really bad camera, so we'll switch that over to this guy. That's much better. Thanks. And hello, chat room. Good to see you. Payow. Hello. I will be doing a rudimentary, as it were, version of tonight's show as I make sure the system works for doing it in future. And I'm sorry about the off hours, but a lot of it was just kind of travel today. We managed to get up late last night, and then, how do we put this? Some of the older folks in the family aren't as ambulatory as they once were. And I think you know what I mean. And so in trying to get them kind of to a restaurant or, out to eat or whatever, that process, bit of a tall order, gotta say. I missed you too. And I'm sorry about the spotty nature of the schedule. We will be back to normal-ish after the new year. Obviously, next week for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, that will be a wonky one because I'm traveling on those days for Nerdhalen. But we're getting back to semi-normal. Tomorrow, more than likely, I'm going to have to arrange to, and I'm going to talk to Johnny about this, pre-tape the radio show on Saturday because our flights are such that, because of the nature of life, they overlap with my with the CPT show. So rather than leave them high and dry, I'm going to pre-tape the show. I may do it as a live stream and just have it up as we do it and do it as live and then give them the audio and allow them to punch it up or grab it from places and just we'll count our own breaks, as it were. And that might save us some stuff. Anyways, it's a lot. And but I'll manage somehow. At the very least, missed you guys and wanted to at least check in and say hi. We, just to catch you up on all things Sparks, Styles, Seiler, and Rowan, as it were, in the Howl world, we had hibachi for dinner. So we also had basically a big pyrotechnics display while getting very small slices of meat cooked flamboyantly in front of us, literally flamboyantly. And then we, as a family, did an escape room. That was rolled into that plan, which is a good time. And now we're staying at the cousin's house for the next couple days until we go back. And it's lovely. And so my son is upstairs, playing with the cousins and hanging out and doing all that kind of stuff. So that's basically the whole la-di-da right now. My dad, because of his sciatica issue, because I know a lot of people were worried about that, had basically lost a lot of strength in his leg, and so he's walking with a cane now, which I gotta say suits him stylistically, but he doesn't like it. Currently I'm not in Kentucky anymore. I am up in Cleveland, so I'm all the way up north, and we'll talk about, how do I put this? We'll talk about the nature of the area I'm in, both physically, and I mean health-wise, and geopolitically, when I return to Vegas and start talking to you guys on the regular. It's going to be it's been a very informative trip in that regard. Yeah. No, he doesn't have a sword cane, although I think he should. But yeah, lots of that stuff. So, all right, I'm going to, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to jump in and do a couple of clips as we do to just kind of get back into the swing of things and make sure that the system works so that when I do a regular show, hopefully tomorrow, it will actually function. And the primary one being this idiocy about Greenland that I want to address. And then, of course, Vivek Ramaswamy. It's interesting because I haven't been able to find, he's doing a lot of typing lately, but not a lot of on-camera stuff. And that in and of itself is very telling, in the same way that J.D. Vance has basically disappeared. And yeah, there you go. See if I can, yeah, because he has his own channel, which is stupid. This is 8 days ago, yeah. Keep 10, our best days are ahead. Yeah, so he hasn't really posted on his own site in about a week. And he does a lot of this crap about the deep state and whatnot, and how America's not expanding. Okay, and we'll go in. One of the things that this is old, anyways. He's not even posting new stuff on his site like a jerk. But one of the things he posted recently was this idea that American culture is terrible because we focus on, sports and all this stuff, all like stuff that like nerdy Democrats say, and yet we don't have maggots attacking us. Well, I guess we do, but we just don't care because they attack us for everything. So who gives a damn? But he's been in, kind of pushing this idea for a bit, and at American culture. Oh, hold on. Yeah, watch this too. Let's see. And I think that might have been Ann Coulter that attacked it. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, this is the whole her book not telling. This is just so you know. This is Ann Coulter saying she didn't vote for Vivek Ramaswamy because he's an Indian. Let me tell you something. This is we'll see. Let's see if this fits over and you guys can see it well. Boink. There we are. Oh, my camera keeps diverting back to that guy, and I'll switch it over so it's better. There we go. So. Hi, by the way, hit the like, subscribe, share the show, etc. You guys might be familiar with this moment because this isn't new, but this is very telling about kind of the generalized Republican feeling about Vivek Ramaswamy.
I'm a fan of yours. I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, so not surprising at all. And by the way, is that audio choppy? Just let me know, guys, because it's quite telling that this is, how they talk about the Republicans are always complaining about unelected bureaucrats who, are appointed and get to tell the rest of us how to live and yada, yada. Isn't that what Doge is? Isn't that exactly what Doge is? Isn't that just a lobbying group of elitist appointed people telling us how to live? I mean, it's exactly the thing. So, okay, the audio was fine on your end. Okay, so it's only choppy on my end. That's good. So, that said, let's jump over. And he did this post. Hold on, let me see if I can even find it or whatever. Vivek post American culture. Yeah. Making this point that we focused, claims American culture has championed mediocrity over excellence. That's good stuff. So, and this is by the way, this is the Washington Examiner putting this out, just so you know. The Washington Examiner being, in Trump's pocket for all practical purposes. This is, here's Vivek Ramaswamy lamented the state of American culture in a message outlining a pathway to creating a new golden era for the United States. Former Republican presidential candidate warned on Thursday that our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long. In a lengthy post on X, and it was like a full page, single spaced, Ramaswamy blamed decades-long cultural trends as the reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over native Americans. He argued, and by the way, this came up because of Elon Musk having a pissing fight about this on X with other maggots. And so this is, how I was saying, like, this can only last so long before they start chewing each other to pieces. Remember I was saying that? Okay, well, this is a great example of the beginning of all of that. So he argued that the decline of U.S. citizens choosing to pursue engineering stemmed from kids growing up in a lazy culture that has long promoted the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ and the jock over the valedictorian. Now, I got to say, a lot of this sounds like stuff that a Democrat would say about kind of just, sports culture over intellect and other skills. The irony that this is coming from them is just the reason you think of it as a Democratic way of applying things, or why that mattered to us for a long time, is because if you're going to solve the problems that dog America, this is one of the things you're going to have to deal with. And so they're just coming to this reality. They're just realizing, if you're going to solve these problems, Democrats have been on the solving train for a long time. And this is a regular, this is one of the elements, which is we need to put more people in STEM and all this kind of stuff, like stuff that Democrats have been talking about and funding forever. And then Republicans finally come to it, or they realize they have to solve this problem. Like, the only way we're going to solve it is the very solutions Democrats have been pushing for decades. So again, who won in a landslide if they just take all of our ideas? Right? Who won in a landslide if the way you fix the problem is the solutions that Democrats have put forward? Hey, Carl. Hi there. Yeah, Republicans on Republican violence. Yeah, I'm for it, by the way. Susie, yeah, they can go for it. I'm enjoying this quite thoroughly. This is the popcorn report as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so the words of Ramaswamy, who is President-elect Donald Trump's choice for co-chairman of the incoming, and by the way, this whole garbage about they keep calling it the Department of Government of Efficiency. It's not a department. Departments have to be created by an act of Congress. It's a committee. It's a lobbying group. It's not a department. Cummins experts have warned U.S. is facing a shortage of engineers, saying that nearly 1 in 3 engineering roles will remain unfilled each year through at least 2030. That also has to do with with the number of the amount of growth that's happening. Let's be abundantly clear that this is not strictly a like education problem. It is a shift in the needed jobs that are out there. Notice it's not like programmers, really. It's engineers. So again, this is a problem we've been pushing for a long time. We've been, like funding trade schools and helping unions and all that kind of stuff. That is the area where these jobs get filled. Okay, so then Ramaswamy continued to express that Trump's election could mark a cultural reset with a focus on practices such as more extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall that could lead to a resurgence in top technical talent in the United States. Okay, first of all, Trump was a legacy hire at Wharton. He's a dumbass, and he couldn't plug in his own phone, okay, without help. So quit it. This can be our Sputnik moment. Also, why would we need our own Sputnik moment? Why wouldn't it be another Apollo moment? Or our Jonas Salk moment? Or, yeah, there you go. Our Apple moment. I don't know, our personal computer moment. Our DOS moment. It's just so stupid. We've awakened from slumber before, and we can do it again. And again, slumber. This motherfucker thinks... Do you realize how much contempt you have to have for the average American to think this way? For real. I mean, it's one thing that, every average person in every average city driving around eventually has a moment where they're like, God, people are stupid when they're in traffic, right? But they don't really think that about their fellow human beings. They just kind of grind about it whenever something comes up. But to be like, he thinks this about everybody. And the idea that, okay, we're on a downward spiral of mediocrity that it led inexorably to the election of Donald Trump. Why isn't he an example of that mediocrity then? If you're saying people are stupid and lazy and ill-informed and don't have any skills for the modern era, then you're talking about Trump voters. Right? You don't have a trend downward for the United States where Trump gets elected that he's not a symptom of. Of course, it's so weird. Okay, anyways. Ramaswamy's message comes as someone that right have argued conservatives are making a cultural comeback with Trump's victory, vibe shift, blah, blah, blah. Post sparked a thing on X. Where is it? With at least one prominent Republican pushing back against the idea there's something wrong with American culture. There's nothing wrong with American workers or American culture. All you do is look at the border and see how many they want what we have. We should be investing in prioritizing in Americans, not foreign workers, said Nikki Haley. Framing yourself new leader of the intellectual conservatism. Ramaswamy ran as the okay, nobody cares. With a crew of people like J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and Vivek Ramaswamy, I think there's a real chance that things can change, said Joe Rogan. Yeah, if you want advice on creating more engineers, Rogan's your guy. We have a real chance to expose some of the deep-seated corruption, some of the problems we've had in this country, and move us to a better path. Oh, that's adorable. Real quick, what if there isn't any corruption? Not on that scale. What if it's like elections? What if there's corruption on a minor level like there is and there always has been because human beings do that sometimes, and there's enough people here where the numbers are relatively high, but compared to other countries or even on a systemic level, it's not anywhere near the level you think it is. What if that's the discovery? What happens then? What if you dig really deep and you go, oh, we just weren't trying hard enough. Oh, no, actually, the people who've been telling us what solutions need to be made and what work needs to be done, those folks, they've been right all along. What about then? For real. Seriously, what if you go looking for massive corruption that bends the scales of justice and economics and advancement, and there is no like magic spark plug that the big three car companies have been hiding from you? Then what? What happens then? That's the thing I find, like, these guys have written off the possibility of. They are so sure that it can't be that Democrats are right and solutions are complex and you've got to factor in a bunch of different things to try and get stuff to work each time, and you're answering to a myriad of constituencies, so there's so many like varying wants and desires. Maybe there's so many of those things that stuff just gets complicated and it's hard to work out. And you can't have concepts of a plan and then shit it out in 2 weeks and go, it'll be beautiful and great and wonderful and nothing will be wrong. Like, maybe that's why Trump only has concepts of a plan. Because when they start working on it, they come up empty. Does that ever occur to these assholes? Does this ever occur to Joe Rogan that maybe there isn't, again, a pentaveret hiding behind every corner, an Illuminati that's causing all this? Maybe it's just some complicated shit. It's so aggravating. And if you want to talk about some lazy aspect of American culture, the idea that compromise, exactly, Jack, in our chat room, that the concept of compromising and working out the complicated details of something that is extraordinarily hard to do, especially in a democracy, but at the very least in modern society, if you can't grasp that, that's the work it will take, if you can't grasp the idea that maybe we do need to, somebody should be taking notes. There's a lot of moving parts. If you can't grasp that, of course you're going to come up with some like, it must be all corrupt. Because it could be so easy. Well, you could do it so easy. This is why Vivek Ramaswamy, like a couple weeks ago, was like, the budget, the continuing resolution should be 20 pages. Yeah. You know what that is? That's a recipe for loopholes, dum-dum. Anyway, so the upside of all this, if I may, chat room, and I think that I can, thank you very much, is that these dipshits are sniping at each other. There was even a thing about Elon Musk and RFK Jr. having a pissing contest. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it largely has, remember this picture? Okay, this is Elon Musk has picked another fight in Donald Trump's inner circle with a Christmas challenge to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He posted a picture of himself, Musk did, calling himself Ozembic Santa. And here it is, where he's super skinny. Look at his arm. I mean, he looks like Bad Santa. He looks like fucking Billy Bob. And it's not good. It is one of these, like, clearly he just dosed himself up on this stuff, and he's jumping on this bandwagon. Well, of course, RFK Jr. is against it, and there's a lot of reasons to moderate the use of it, and again, a balanced conversation with this is kind of crucial. But he posted caption Ozembic Santa. He followed up with a message that quickly went viral in MAGA, like Cocaine Bear, but Santa and Ozembic. And he's not on Ozempic. He's on one of the other ones, I think they say. Yeah, technically Monjaro, but that doesn't have the same ring to it. That's the other same kind of drugs. This category of drugs like Ozempic. He's referencing a once-weekly injection approved for use last year by the Food and Drug Administration during the Biden administration. That is widely used for weight loss. It makes the user feel fuller between meals and lowers the appetite. It is also used to treat type 2 diabetes. Musk is gloating about his trimmer figure in the post about the drug. Mounjaro works like Ozempic, slowing down how quickly food is digested and helping with weight loss, but he also appears to be trolling Kennedy, Trump's pick for Secretary of Health and Human Services, who's made no secret of his opposition to drugs as primary method of battling obesity. The first line of defense should be lifestyle, which it is. Like, fuck off. Most people, but it's a constant. It's an everyday thing. It's not treatment. That's just, people don't battle obesity or battle their weight, except in the parlance of diet companies and shit like that. You just try to stay healthy. That and that balance of like how far you go and coming back, and the difficulty of it as you age, or if you have hormonal issues and stuff. That's all in the noise of the world of dieting and fitness and gyms and blah blah blah. But it's nowhere near the part where you start taking Ozempic or these kind of things. And it is the first line of defense. It's just you don't talk about it until you bring up an actual a chemical line of defense by taking a drug. Fuck, these people are dumb. So aggravating. Kennedy is notoriously health conscious. Yeah, that's from the heroin, right? And posts gym photos showing off his shirtless physique at 70 during his aborted presidency campaign restored America global health, while Americans gained 29 pounds during the COVID lockdowns. And again, an average. Shut the fuck up. It's just stupid. Let's see. Merry Christmas. This is him skiing. Musk is equally outspoken in support for pharmaceutical assistance in shedding the pounds. He posted on December 11th, nothing could do more to improve health, lifespan, and quality of life than making GLP inhibitors super low cost to the public. Nothing else is even close. That's why he was on it, already at that point. There it is. Let's see. Luigi Manifesto includes a superficially damning claim. However, it's wrong. Want to understand why the U.S. Spends so much on healthcare to get this threat of a parasite. Simply had a reminder: U.S. has the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world. We rank 42 in life expectancy. Yeah, that's not true. Okay, and the latest impending culture clash in the White House. Anyways, they're going to fight back and forth over this, and I'm totally fine with it. Again, we can just enjoy them chewing at each other's throats. So this is going to be an ongoing thing too. And Trump has started balking at the whole VP Trump thing, which is all the reason why it needs to be driven home even more so. But there's been this other stupid thing, and we'll get to this just so I can test things up. Well, while we're on the subject of stupid. Can we just go straight to and since I've been in Kentucky for the last few days, can we just jump over to this stupid? This is Rand Paul. I don't know why he gets a picture from 10 years ago. I guess the same reason Trump does. But this is Rand Paul exposes Biden administration for wasting $1 trillion. I am fascinated. I can't hold on one second. I don't know why this has 2 screens. Why is this here? I don't know. What is this? Why is this here? I can't. Well, I guess here. I'll just kill this one and move this one up here. Same thing. So this is I'm going to get aggravated. I just know it. And it's the holidays and I shouldn't. But hit the like and subscribe. It's Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. I will be doing normal shows again very soon. But we're, I'm holiday traveling. So work with me on this. And it'll be a relatively short show tonight. But I just missed you guys, frankly. Here we go. This is Rand Paul.
Spending spree exposed in Senator Rand Paul's 10th annual Festivus report, showing the more than $1 trillion million-dollar pickleball complex in Las Vegas, a drag cabaret show on ice, and of course border security for ... Paraguay. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul joins us now. Senator, this is an annual list you do. You've got a lot of problems with government people, to quote Seinfeld.
Okay, hold on. How much? $20 million for this, $12 million for that, $10.3 million for cat experiments. Climate action in Brazil, $3 million, 2.1 million. By the way, we rely on food from Brazil. The pickleball thing was probably for elderly people for health to test how, if they exercise, then anybody who exercises, your healthcare needs and costs will be lower. Shit like that. Iraqi Sesame Street USAID spends $20 million on Ahlan Simpson, a Sesame Street show in Iraq. And how many other countries kick into it as well? Drag show on ice. The National Endowment for the Arts awarded $10,000 to support a climate change focused drag show on ice. Okay. I think the whole having it on ice, and I don't know if the drag part would heat it up and therefore it melts the ice. I don't know. It seems like I could see where the art would work there. And then Paraguay border security. We also have embassies in Paraguay and shit like that. So there's a lot of overlap. A lot of countries do this. I mean, it's just dumb. But this is nowhere near. This is like 0.0000003% of the of the budget over 10 years.
Paul joins us now. Senator, this is an annual list you do. You've got a lot of problems with government people, to quote Seinfeld further. How tough is it to target and find the entries on this list?
I got a lot of problems with big spenders in both parties. And here's the thing, everywhere you look, you find more of this stuff. $1 trillion. That means we found a lot of waste. But it's everywhere. It's in all the big departments, in the Department of State. It's in NIH. It's in the National Science Foundation. And people wonder, why does it exist every year? We have this Department of Doge. Are they going to be able to get rid of it? Well, the only way to get rid of it is to spend less money. So if you give the National Science Foundation $4 billion one year, and then you increase it to $8 billion, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that you're going to get more waste, not less.
No, correlation, not causation. And the idea that you're increasing the national science foundation's funding, especially as we get more advanced in our technology and prices go up, and the importance of even being able to work with higher quality computers and technologies and the like, of course it's going to be more expensive. And that doesn't mean that it's automatically going to be more waste because of it. And again, just any science that is done where it isn't successful doesn't automatically make it waste either. I mean, remember, these are the same fuckwads that are always quoting Edison, going, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just figured out 999 ways to make that you don't make a light bulb." Remember that nonsense? They always bring that shit up. But any government money that is spent that doesn't solve the problem is automatically waste and fraud, or just wasteful in general. So lame.
This has been going on since the 70s, but it has...
Since the 70s. That's adorable. When we had the Mustache Foundation, and the only thing that good came out of it was Smokey and the Bandit. Two of the best cinematic mustaches in history.
Exploded. But you have to be willing to cut spending for the overall department. NIH, well...
Why? Why? Why wouldn't you cut something else? Jesus Christ, you think in 2024, 2025, 2026, for crying out loud, we need less science? Are you out of your mind? I'm sure there's shit in there for new ways for the Amish to make buttermilk. I'm sure there's some money that goes to Pennsylvania for that, right? I doubt there's gonna be a huge update. But science, I gotta be. Although that probably would fall under science now that I think of it.
Have more waste if you give them more money. They spent $3 million studying what kids do when they look at ads for food on Facebook.
They spent $3 million figuring out what kids do when they look at ads for food on Facebook. Because if kids eat junk, they develop health problems that cost Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid more money over time. And if they're going to, if the Congress wants to write a bill, or RFK Jr. wants to put in a new regulation, which is all he's going to fucking do, if they want to do that, they've got to do a study on it. Otherwise, when they put this new regulation in, or they put this limitation on ads on Facebook, and they try to limit it or label it or whatever, they can, if somebody sues and takes them to court, they can go, "No, we did a study on it. We funded a study specifically to look into this." Why is this weird? If you're going to write a law about anything, you're going to have to do you're either going to have an abundance of data that comes from naturally occurring shit, or you're going to have to study hurricanes and their trajectory to decide whether or not you're going to have to change how the U.S. supports insurance or builds breakwaters, right? You're going to have to do a study. And if that $3 million study saves you $500 million in Medicare and Medicaid funding later on, because you realize kids who make better choices or don't see ads on Facebook, that promote sugary food or whatever, don't tend to eat as much of it, then you'll save that money. Do these assholes know how like an investment in the future works? Of course not.
A whole bunch of kids look at ads for food on Facebook, and that was $3 million worth. I mean,
yeah, that's all they did. Yeah, that's how a scientific study works. Thanks, Rand. Yeah, they just have a bunch of kids watch ads on Facebook, and then that was the whole thing. The sad part is that like Fox News and whoever the fuck is there has like the hosts or the engineers that are working on the show, the producer themselves, and maybe even the director at one point has been looking at social media or something with their kid when they were concerned about it, and like, what the fuck is that? Seeing ads for things that they know are bad for their kid or know are trying to bait their kids into stuff. And we've had this conversation about toys and food on broadcast television, and we were right. And they did all kinds of stuff about like, how and what you can sell to kids on broadcast television and when, because kids are easy to manipulate. Why wouldn't they look on social media if kids are spending more time on their phones? And why would this be a surprise? Other than, okay, dial this all back and understand that what's really going on here. What is this really about? Rand Paul, as a acolyte of Ayn Rand, named after her by his dipshit father, believes that there are too many people surviving. We've got too many weak people running around, and we should have let them die of natural causes, Darwin Awards years ago. And we got to stop saving people from themselves. Life is going to get more complicated. The ads are going to get more convincing. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And the only people that deserve to live are the people who can ignore it, or come from a household where they've been taught to ignore everything. And so, my kids don't believe those ads because my kids don't believe gravity works, and that, God rest their soul.
Thousands of dollars to drill holes into cats' head, spin them around rapidly, and study motion sickness. Sounds more like animal cruelty than it actually sounds like an experiment, but the list goes on.
Again, gross, but I don't give a fuck what it sounds like to you. Did it work or didn't it?
And on.
And that's not to mention, you have stolen COVID relief funds, $8 million. One guy from Florida did it to buy an island. You mentioned the cat. The list does go on and on, but you also alluded to...
A Florida man stole $8 million in COVID relief funds to buy an island and more. And I presume because we know about it, he was arrested because that's illegal. Okay, wait. Let me okay, hold on. This I need to know. This we got to look this up. Hold on. Florida man bought an island. Island, $8 million. Hold on. That'll bring it up. Florida man is serving 5.5 years in federal prison for stealing nearly $8 million in federal COVID relief funds. He used the same stolen funds to buy Sweetwater Island, a private island off of Key West. November 10th of 2023, Georgia man spent $58,000 in COVID relief funds to buy a 1999 Charizard Pokemon card in a similar case. All right, but let's see. Mangroves, Commons, blah, 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 Pelican dive bombs. You go fly over Wichita Bay. May have been an ideal getaway. Florida businessman Patrick Parker Walsh said he's serving 5 years in federal prison for stealing near $8 million in federal COVID-19 funds that he used in part to buy Sweetwater Island, which here it is. Let me show you the island. I wouldn't call it Sweetwater Island. I'd call it like Burning Brush. Ranks among the most unusual purchases by pandemic fraudsters. He's one of thousands of thieves who perpetrated loss of 10%. When the AP reviewed hundreds of pandemic fraud cases, presents a picture of thieves and scam artists who spent lavishly on houses, luxury watches. Stolen aid also paid for long nights at strip clubs. Well, you know. Their crimes were relatively simple. The government's goal was to get cash into the hands of struggling people and businesses with minimal hassle, particularly during the early stages. I don't remember who was president during the early stages. Do you guys remember? I can't remember. Safeguards to weed out the swindlers were dropped. Thieves came from all walks of life. Let's see. Investigators wouldn't catch every crook. Uncomfortable truth. Stay as long as it takes. New York doctor deeply in debt joined the rogues gallery of COVID-19 fraudsters by falsifying at least 11 separate applications for pandemic aid. Netted him $3.8 million. Used about $3 million to pay off an early civil judgment against him. Breaching real estate lease. Brazen move, spent $80,000 on going to settle a federal lawsuit alleging he violated the Controlled Substances Act by dispensing more than 20,000 doses of weight loss drug without keeping accurate. Okay, hold on. Let's grab the guy though, the dude. Where the Florida businessman? Where is it? Patrick Parker Walsh. Okay, copy. I just need to know the details of his. Give me 1 second. I need to know when. Is the man a freshwater spring comes to bar? His crimes were egregious. Oh yeah, the blimp guy. This was the guy. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Relative of a former state of the Tuesday in district court, sentenced in pandemic fraud. So he got, let's see, Patrick Parker Walsh, get out of here. Patrick Parker was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. He must also pay back the $7.8 million to the U.S. Small Business Administration. Federal judge sentenced Patrick to 5 years in prison. Charged in August as part of a deal with prosecutors. He's got to pay this back. Choke back tears at times while addressing the court. I tell my children that it's the moments that no one is watching that you can measure a man's character. Unfortunately for me, when I was in that situation, I failed. Walsh and Nicole Ward said the federal government was the way to save his business. Business skills were not the greatest. He took out high interest loans, made dumb choices, painted a different picture. Assistant attorney took $2 million to cover payroll due to a pandemic. Then they stole the money and got into fraud. That theft is theft. It doesn't say when he took the money, but it seems to be, in his signed plea agreement, Walsh admitted to defrauding the federal government in 2020 by submitting false loan applications for several companies he owned to the Paycheck Protection Program and Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, two federal loan initiatives intended to help small business owners keep their companies afloat during the economic crisis caused by the pandemic in 2020. Now, there we go. So during the Trump administration, let's be abundantly clear. That's what I was trying to get to. That the dude that Rand Paul is referring to, this guy right here, and they make a big graphic out of it, and it becomes a big frickin' thing, and it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Stolen COVID-19 relief funds. A Florida man stole $8 million in COVID relief to buy an island and more. Yes, and he did it in 2020 when Donald Trump was president last time. So just to clarify that, I needed to look that up, and I feel better for having done it.
Senator, do you think your tradition ends this year? In other words, is this the year that Doge eliminates the need for you to go through and make this list, because they've done it over the
cat experiment? DOD spent the Department of Defense spent $10 million on Orwellian cat experiments.
Course of the intervening 365 days.
Ultimately, it takes Congress. Congress has to get rid of the spending. Doge can point out the spending problems and the waste the same way I've been pointing it out. But the reason it's not eliminated is they don't have the votes to get rid of the spending. So I am very hopeful that Doge will draw attention to this the same way I've been drawing attention to it. But I'll give you an example. About a year ago, there was a chip spill, a bill to subsidize microchips, semiconductors in the United States. Well, in that bill, they doubled the size of the National Science Foundation. Now, the National Science Foundation...
Yeah, I don't know why that would be. We're trying to reclaim microchip production in the United States, and they double the science foundations from like $4 million to $8 million. Really? Seriously, dude. Seriously. We have a $26 trillion economy, and we have a $6 trillion federal budget. I got to tell you, the $8 million for, well, let's see how much. We'll see if he's talking about more.
The one that's famous.
So the $8 billion for the National Science Foundation is a pittance.
For doing a study on whether tequila or gin makes people more aggressive. So they fed fish, half of them tequila, and the other half of the fish gin, and they decided which made the fish more aggressive. That's the National Science Foundation.
Yeah. And if they can do that without going to a bar and splurging, so fucking what?
Most of the terrible, wasteful projects, the crazy stuff and experiments going on is National Science Foundation.
No, it isn't. Shut the fuck up. And even if it is, we're getting it on the cheap.
In the CHIPS bill, all the Democrats and half the Republicans voted to double the size of the National Science Foundation. So why is there more waste? Because the idiots in Congress.
No. Sorry. False premise. You have not established it as waste. You can argue that some of the experiments are less efficient than they might be. Maybe even you disagree with them on an animal cruelty level. Maybe there's some other reason. But the idea that it's just generalized waste because you think it's stupid because you're a simpleton is not an excuse to cut the funding. It just ain't.
Keep giving them more money.
Well, it will be interesting to see again what happens.
Yeah, totally. It's so interesting. Isn't it interesting? This will be interesting.
When Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. Very different from what we've experienced the last 96 hours in Congress. Will this waste go away? Will you be needed on Christmas Eve next year? We will see. Senator Rand Paul, enjoy the day and the week with your family, and we thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
God. Again, so much like wishful thinking. But the other takeaway from that I would like to remind everybody is that when he says that it takes an act of Congress to cut the budget and drive all this down, what he's saying is that it isn't Doge that's going to do this, or even the president. If you're going to do any real, if there's ever going to be any curtailing of this kind of spending, you're going to have a real budget fight and actually go through committee and actually work this shit out. And they just aren't gonna. It's goofy. Now, I think I have time for one more. And we haven't seen. I know that because we didn't have a show with Phil, that this has been kind of on my mind. And lately, if you're looking for somebody that is just, I don't know. This guy feels like he's like the executive Tim Pool. That's what peanut butter dickhead is. This guy. He's like Tim Pool in a suit, which is not a compliment to either. For those who don't know, his show used to be kind of like a monetary focused, I don't know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, positivity business thing, like how to get ahead in business and apply yourself, and a little bit of like Tony Robbins meets Dave Ramsey or some shit like that. It's hard to say because it's so gone. Now he's just a Trump suck up. That's the whole fucking show. But this says Ukraine system reset. Alexei Aristovich's strategy to end Zelensky's corrupt reign of Ukraine.
People in Ukraine that is widely respected by others that would come out and say, we need Alexei as our president. Would the military be on your side? Would the economy be on your side? Would business people be on your side? What sect would be out there saying, we're for Alexei?
I have direct support from the side of the business, middle business, large business.
I was dude just running on general. I'm sorry, the audio on this is choppy for me. I know it isn't for you guys, but it's really hard for me to make out what he's saying.
Enough support among the military. I'm a Ukrainian officer, lieutenant colonel in the Ukrainian army, 2.5 years on the front line and overall. And I have enough support. I'm a volunteer who brings and gathers a lot of support and help for the Ukrainian army. And I have a significant support among the people, and it's difficult to measure that at this time. I think that you understand that right now it's just a general understanding, but once the presidential candidates will be registered, this is always
Okay, yeah. All right. So this guy, think of this guy as the, I don't want to put this on Bernie, but like the Jill Stein of Ukraine. That's this guy's goal is to start a conversation as if Zelensky needs to be replaced, and that's a whole part of this, and only somebody who's more sympathetic and friendly to Russia can do anything about it. This is I mean, I don't know how long it'll be before there's pictures showing up of this guy sitting at a dinner table with Mike Flynn and Jill Stein, but basically that's what we're looking at here.
specific choice, the value of the program you're announcing, the value of your team, the value of every word you say.
Good idea, by the way.
After the official registration, it's not just people from your country, people from other countries listen to you. That combines both of your questions. So for now, it's just people looking overall at the situation. But over there, it's going to be a real battle of statements, programs. I can tell you that for now, I have sufficient supporters in all of the spheres of life of Ukraine. I can tell you I'm in direct contact with them.
You're for sure very popular. I mean, your online following is in the millions. People listen.
Yeah, that's all you need to be president of Ukraine or replace Zelensky. You got a huge online following. Yeah, I'm sure it's not Macedonian bots or Russian hacker farms or fucking paid bots or a bunch of Grok accounts or whatever. Fuck you and this bullshit. I don't give a fuck how many followers somebody has online. They are too easy to fake. It doesn't matter. Good Lord.
To you, and every time you're putting a live, millions of views, 500,000, 2.2 million, 1.2 million in. But I couldn't find anything in English. The only thing I saw in English was one you did 11 months ago with somebody. I don't know who it was. And how many
Why would it be in English?
English podcasts have you done? Is it just one that you've
when
done?
the war has begun, I was made about 30 English podcasts every day. The first 100 days.
Yourself, or did you go on
myself?
other people's shows?
No, it's just other people's shows. I spoke with.
Oh my God. Now, what do I have to go through and start looking at like translated versions of these things? Hold on. I'm getting a call. Real quick. From. Work. Sorry, 1 second. They're opening gifts in Vegas, and so Ethan had a question about his gift, I guess. So, all right, here we go. Sorry, guys.
CNN with Fox News, and you can find it. Just switching on there.
And I know you did something with Lex Friedman, because I think that would be the one.
Yes, two times.
2 times, but neither one of them went live.
No one.
What happened there?
I don't know. We have to ask Lex.
Okay, got it. Okay, because I know he's a true believer of what's going on there, and Lex is a guy that wants peace.
Yeah.
And
no, he doesn't. Lex Friedman doesn't want peace. A citation needed.
He's coming from a place of, you can tell he's coming from a genuine. I don't know him. We don't have a relationship.
Well, then you can't tell he's coming from a genuine place, and you're talking out of your ass.
But is your plan? Because when I watch what Milei did, or
what Milei did, what wrecked their economy even worse than it already was.
Tina, socialist. They don't want Milei. Libertarian. He's crazy. Kissing girls, doing all this stuff. His campaign was very weird. Loud.
Kissing girls, doing all this stuff. His campaign was very weird, loud. So the libertarians didn't like him kissing girls.
Afuera. All this stuff that he's doing. Yeah, exactly, right? Bukele, young guy coming up. Bitcoin, crypto, all this stuff. There was things that were different, right? So even if you go to Viktor Orban, there's a lot of them that we can go through.
Why Orban? You just mean Trumpies. He's just going through a list of people who are Trump sucks or who are Putin adjacent. Like, literally, everybody he's naming are either like wannabe Trumpies or straight up like Putin agents
from Italy, or all these things that we're talking about. Victor from Hungary.
Hey man, let's. I'm all for it, dude. Let's have the same gun rules they have in Hungary. Do it. Trump's a boss. He can make it happen. He thinks Orban's awesome. Yeah, let's have Hungarian gun rights rules here.
Where would you put yourself politically? Are you a conservative? Are you a libertarian? Are you as a person, your background, faith, theology, things that you've studied? Where would you put yourself politically?
Yeah,
I am more of a right centrist.
Right centrist.
Right centrist,
Okay.
yes.
Economically, you're a capitalist.
yes,
So
yeah, absolutely.
He's right of center is what he's projecting himself as being, which is nonsense.
absolutely.
I'm
Free
a
market.
conservative.
Not being right of center is nonsense. It's that he's just right of center, and that's all he is the part that's nonsense.
By the mindset.
Okay, and then woke, completely anti-woke. Nothing
Woke, completely anti-woke, nothing.
with you is woke.
No,
right? You're not going to try to turn.
Absolutely not. I completely understand what they people, who is the people are, and what is the ideology inside they use. I'm against them.
Well, one thing
He is against the woke people.
that I will
I don't like him, them woking.
say is I've really enjoyed talking to you. One thing that I will say is Milei made us be interested in Argentina.
What? Wait, Milei made us interested in Argentina? He's a fucking clown. He brought a chainsaw to political events and shit like that. He's a nutcase. It was flash. I don't care how interested you. Again, that's like saying a certain paint job makes you pay more attention to a car. Who gives a shit? How does the car run?
They made us be interested in El Salvador. Viktor Orban made us be interested in Hungary.
Why? Quit. Stop it. Why? What the hell? Who the hell is interested in Hungary? Bozmag. That's what I say.
Right? And they did a phenomenal job of us being interested in some of these regions.
What? Yeah, because it's all branding, isn't it? Fuck all the policy stuff, trying to actually help people. Who cares about international relationships, like trade? It's all complicated. What we need are basically like influencers. That's what we need. We don't need governments. We need the Instagramming of international relationships. We need some Kardashian magic on these on these governments. What a dickhead.
I think the fact that you're creating content right now is phenomenal. But the people that are listening to you are your people that are listening to you.
Because you don't speak English? Is that the problem? Because you're not doing it in English? Is that your... Dude, I can't play this stuff for my followers. They don't even like my accent. They're going to hate the fact that you don't speak English.
I think if there's more outer people that are also supporting you,
English speakers, you mean?
the Dominik Tarczynski from Poland. Okay, he was a Polish parliament, I think.
Yeah, he is. He's a Polish parliament. Which is exhausting.
And then he was also part of NATO or UN. He was part of UN as well, if I'm not mistaken.
What's the difference? Look it up. You had him on. You're only talking to him for like 3 hours.
Member of the European Parliament, EU. Member of the European Parliament, and he was a Polish politician. We had him on. Did an interview. 25 million views, all the clips combined. And then we had him on our election night when he was there. Everybody wants him to be the president of Poland now. You know, they want him to run in March 8th.
Yeah. Everyone who watches Peanut Butter Dickhead's podcast wants this guy to be president of Poland. 12 of them actually live in Poland. 12, not 12 million, 12 of them.
Because this guy's like,
Yeah, because he's like, what's the word? Polish, I think.
Exposure to English-speaking audiences got people more interested in supporting them, saying, here's the, and that's kind of helping as well. So for you, where you're going, you know, I'd be curious to know if you're going to take that route and be doing more of these types of conversations, especially at a time like this, because...
Oh my God, this is fucking painful.
Let's just say this does come to an end when Trump and them meet and there's peace.
Yeah, that's all it's going to take. When Trump and them meet, then there's peace. Yeah, totally. Just, yeah, dude, don't even worry about it. It's all done.
Say then you're comfortable to go back and you start campaigning and you're speaking openly all over the place. Momentum rises saying, here's somebody that can be the next president there.
Why? What? They already have peace there. What are you going to do? What are you talking about? What's he going to run on? More? More of it being over?
Make for a very interesting story.
It would. That's true. It would make for a very interesting story. And that's what matters. Not reality, not material equations, you know, physics, gravity, you know, medicine, you know, propulsion, sciences, territories, actual treaties, written laws, you know, enforceable law. That's not what... What you want is an interesting story from another online influencer, especially one with Putin's backing, because we need more of those in governance.
Yes, that can be. Look, for Ukraine, exposure before English-speaking audiences, more over United States, is one of the key things, because the very existence of Ukraine depends on 80% from the help that America gives. Not a single Ukrainian can be indifferent toward American audience and their points of view of Americans onto what happens in Ukraine. The person who is represented...
Yeah, unless you cut off funding, in which case 80% of Ukraine doesn't rely on it. It's going to have to move it to relying on Europe or their own stuff, because the minute you move towards the Americans that don't want to support Ukraine, which is who this asshole is and who, you know, the audience of this particular podcast is, who gives a shit? The Ukrainians are just going to go, oh, we can't talk to those. We got to talk to the, I don't know, the French or the fucking Swedish.
That here, of course, receives a very strong shoulder of support, but the very fact of having an interview for the English-speaking audience, American audience. With regards...
Okay, this is just self-involved horseshit. This is just painful. They put this... Okay, the name of this clip, by the way, is Ukraine System Reset, in quotes, which based on fucking what? Alexei Arestovich's strategy to end Zelensky's corrupt reign of Ukraine. Okay, this doesn't seem like it's his strategy at all. It seems like Peanut Butter Dickhead wants him to come on more English-speaking podcasts or send somebody who speaks better English to be on his show. Where is the great strategy here? God damn, this is dumb. Hey, but you know, hey, they're the winning side. You know, they done the winning. So there you go. All right, one last thing, and this is relatively short. Joe Pinion on Newsmax says Greenland has no chance against Russia and China without the United States. That Trump has to buy Greenland for its own good. Yeah, it's the... okay, this is the thing. So this is the thing, okay? We have bigger fish to fry. It won't fucking happen. It's a bunch of nonsense. But I don't know what this fixation is, and I don't care, because it's absurd.
In for Rob tonight. Well, deal or no deal? That is the question. After completing the greatest political comeback in the history of our nation, Donald J. Trump, the man who wrote The Art of the Deal, is a...
No, he didn't. Hi, stupid. He had a ghostwriter. Shut the fuck up. He had a ghostwriter. Quit it. Stop saying he wrote The Art of the Deal. He's never even read the goddamn thing.
To close the deal of a lifetime. Strategic control and influence over the largest island on our planet, Greenland. Now,
for purposes of national security and freedom, the U.S. feels that the ownership of Greenland is necessary. Do we? Is this what's keeping us up at night?
The political left has mocked the plan.
Yeah, it's not a plan. It's a concept of bullshit. But yeah, I will continue to mock it. You're a silly, silly person, and so is he.
have all but dismissed the idea, and yet both the liberals at home and elites abroad seem oblivious to reality that President Trump has been keenly aware of since he began his pursuit of Greenland during his first term. The next world war will be fought over natural resources, over energy independence, and the
Yeah, but we don't need fucking Greenland's oil. What are you talking about?
theater for that war will not be far-flung places in Europe such as Omaha Beach or inaccessible regions such as the sands of Afghanistan. It will be fought right here in America's proverbial front yard, the Northern Arctic. And so if you view the world through that prism, a Greenland or bust plan for America First energy independence and strategic dominance starts to make a whole lot of sense.
Okay. Do you think because we're going to get oil from them, or you just think it's the bulwark against Russia coming over the top if the Arctic thaws?
In a world where failed American leadership has allowed the Chinese Communist Party to monopolize the rare earth minerals required to make...
No. Okay, again, all right, this is about rare earth minerals. Okay, shut the fuck up. First of all, Greenland is perfectly fine by themselves, and they're not going to be fucking seized by Russia. So piss off with this nonsense. Also, America has all the, quote, rare earth minerals we will ever need. This is a fucking talking point from 10 years ago.
Every critical instrument of the 21st century, America's renewed interest in Greenland isn't just sensible, it should be non-negotiable. Especially when the same governing bodies in and around Greenland that mock President Trump's proposal have routinely entertained land lease and trade proposals with the Chinese Communist Party that not only threaten the security of the U.S. homeland, but give the Chinese Communist Party sanctioned access that's swiftly...
Wait, what the ever-loving shit? Okay, I suppose there's some sort of like Biden likes the Chinese nonsense that's going on here, which clearly, again, China's the worst years since before they opened up, before Nixon, have happened under Joe Biden. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But also, China's not going to take Greenland. It's on the other side of, I mean, like if they're going to just take someplace for resources, they'll just take Africa in theory. That's what they've been trying to do.
Becoming the most valuable trading lanes in our hemisphere. There is a reason why Xi Jinping proposed building a...
Yeah, when was that? What's the date on that? I'll wait. Unveils vision of polar Silk Road across the Arctic. Yeah, over Russia. They were circumventing Russia. That was more of a slam on Russia than anybody else.
Polar Silk Road trading route through the Arctic corridor. And there is a reason why Russia, who has long made wild and reckless territorial...
I don't know why I pushed the button to get this to play and it subscribed me to Newsmax and I had to unsubscribe really quick.
...over territory in the Arctic and all the natural resources that go along with them have accelerated their efforts. Because a showdown is coming. And America has two choices, lead or get left behind.
Yeah, again, they're delivering what they have, not the other way around, stupid. It's not like they're taking these rare earth minerals from Greenland. Do you think we couldn't put just military bases on there and that'd be enough? Good Lord.
And whether we like it or not, the pursuit of a perch for self-determination in this particular arena, well, it goes directly through Greenland. And why? Well, it is simple. The ice is melting. That's not a...
That's right. Okay. Yeah. The ice is melting, and so Iceland will be green again, and Greenland will be less icy, and Iceland will be more green or something.
The new scam is just a cold, hard fact, and ironically,
well, less cold, I guess, and less hard.
What can only be viewed as a self-hating, suicidal obliviousness, the same people who won't stop...
What? Wait, what the fuck is this guy? Simmer. The idea that it's self-hating and suicidal for us to not seize Greenland. And make it the 51st state, I guess? Is it the new Afghanistan? What the shit?
About the melting ice caps and the plight of the polar bears ignore the fact that when the ice gets thinner, Russia and China no longer need to take the scenic route to their front door. Now they can wave at the port of Montreal or attempt to repurpose Ellis Island in just half the time. And so all of this presents a serious
Warning to U.S. Navy on China. Bigger fleet almost always wins. Almost. Also, it helps if your ships are actually bigger and more functional as opposed to just the number of ships, because China calls every fishing boat a naval vessel because they can call them up at any time.
Particularly since under the watchful eye of one Joseph Robinette Biden, we have watched the Chinese Navy grow to eclipse the size of the United States Navy for the first time in modern history.
I love how this expert's warning to U.S. Navy on China, bigger fleet almost always wins. Also, and this is in 2023, but like experts warning to U.S. has that new study ring to it. You know what I mean?
This at the same time that Biden's failed after-the-fact sanctions of Russia put Putin's invasion of Ukraine did very little except driving the Kremlin directly.
Sorry, Biden's failed what?
Putin's invasion of Ukraine did very little except driving the Kremlin directly into the strategic arms of the Communist Party, with Russia now eclipsing Saudi Arabia as the leading importer of crude oil to China. And so here we...
Yeah, that's because Saudi Arabia's staying within the sanctions. Russia's like, China's avoiding the sanctions. They're just buying oil because they're going around the sanctions. They're not participating. They're not participants in the SWIFT system anymore, and so they don't care. They're evading sanctions because the European countries in the Middle East are. This is just dumb.
Our folks, with these two once dueling nations turned strategic allies, they are now conducting joint naval exercises in the South China Sea, but more importantly, in October of this year, conducting their first joint maritime patrol. Where? You guessed it. The Arctic. So yes, the prime...
Yeah, you mean where they've lost two ships and a sub, and where the Chinese dragged their ship across international communication lines?
Minister of Greenland can laugh and call Donald J. Trump's plan a joke. Denmark can turn their...
Hey, hold on. No. A joke has a punchline and structure, way more than Trump's plan does to annex Greenland, you silly person.
Nose up at Donald J. Trump's plan and say Greenland is not for sale. But it is laughable for them to believe that when Russia and China show up, knock on their front door and say, we're taking your island of 58,000 people and the natural resources that come along with it, that they have a chance in hell without America's support. Donald J. Trump is...
Well, also, we would defend Greenland. We're just not buying the fucking place, you weirdo.
...in Greenland to come to the table and help codify peace on equitable financial terms. China will not ask, and Russia, for those keeping track at home, well, they are already proceeding at rapid pace, breakneck speed, without an invitation. So yes, it would be a legacy-defining deal.
Yeah, that's what he wants. Like Trump, call it, Trumpistan, the state of Greenland / Trumpistan.
Mr. Art of the Deal, to put Greenland in America's column. But more importantly, it would be...
Also, why would you have to claim it to put it in America's column? Why don't you just do a security agreement with them?
Nation-defining moment to take the steps required to shield ourselves from the prospect of the next Pearl Harbor, a 21st century Pearl Harbor.
Hold on. For it to be a Pearl Harbor, it has to be your country getting attacked. Arguably, if they're going to attack Greenland as part of this, and it's inevitable, by making it part of the United States, you're the one setting up the Pearl Harbor aspect. Pearl Harbor was a part of Hawaii. It's part of America.
See, there are many reasons.
Other countries being attacked by other... Why isn't Ukraine in a Pearl Harbor for America then?
The great wars of yesterday were not fought on U.S. soil. But the easiest factor to comprehend is clear. We have the greatest home field advantage of any prosperous nation in the modern history of the world. It is difficult to reach us, but it's getting easier. Russia has figured it out. China has figured it out.
Yeah, I guess they'd have to, what, march across Canada in the snow? The fuck? Just because the polar ice caps melt in your best case scenario doesn't mean the water suddenly gets warm and the weather gets balmy in northern Canada.
The past and future president of our great nation, Donald J. Trump, has figured it out. And those who claim they love freedom, they better stop fighting him and start helping him before the war we fought 2 wars to prevent comes to a town near you.
Yeah, we have to claim, we have to seize Greenland before Red Dawn 3, The Reckoning happens. Shit. I think, while the greater portion of this, if I will, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll leave you guys for the night and I will see you guys tomorrow. If there's anything I think we can take away, and thank you guys for the super chats as well. Michael, thank you so much, and Richard and Tim Apple, thank you. Hey, Hal, I'm not feeling very merry this year. Mr. Stinky Pants gave everyone permission to say Merry Christmas, and it's driving me nuttier. Well, then see it for the happiest thing in the world. Be okay with Christmas, and hold them to the standard that goes with it of behaving in a Christic way, not an Old Testament kind of way, and leave that burden of morality at their doorstep. That'll work. Don't let them harm you without, you have to give them permission to harm you in those kind of ways. So trust me on that. Okay, Richard, thank you so much as well. Muskrat already sniffs lines and lines of ketamine every day. What the fuck does you need Manjaro for? Well, that's the thing, is that ketamine isn't necessarily a weight loss drug the way cocaine is. Monica, thank you so much. Merry Christmas. And Larry, thank you so much. And Pam, the Facebook chat, thanks you. Oh, okay, appreciate that. Yeah, if you're on Facebook and you want to support the show, you're going to have to use Venmo or come over to YouTube every so often and drop me a super chat, because the stars thing has been intermittent and I don't know when they're going to turn it back on. And I think there's my guess is that Facebook's going to have a giant class action lawsuit in their future, where they are screwing with the underlying financial system that influencers can make money off of, and using the size of the network and the potential for money to keep people from balking because they're afraid of getting kicked off. And at some point, that'll have to end. Just saying. So until then, we'll see. But either way, hit that like, share the show. And I think, again, the overall story here is that this idea that they're going to get everything they want and they're just going to steamroll everybody and it's going to be easy, and they're going to get support from the strange bedfellows like Cenk Uygur and the like, and that's going to help it work its way through the system, is horseshit, and it gives them way too much credit. And by sweating about it, we are complying in advance. Don't comply in advance. Don't give them your heart and your fear, because quite frankly, you can look at how they're fighting with each other. Look at RFK and Musk fighting about this. Look at how Vivek has just spent the last week and a half alienating farmers and fucking sports fans in the United States. Like, Jesus Christ, oh God, everybody that he's considering for Doge considers the Midwest flyover states. Useless. All the things they say about like liberal elites on the coasts, everybody that's involved in Doge thinks that about the Midwest. Every fucking one of them. You got to keep that in mind. And there is a conflict that they are inexorably headed towards that is going to happen. And watch as it happens. Because I mean, it's already happening in a minor sense with Trump bitching about being called VP Trump and about how Musk is going to take over and stuff. That's all petty, smaller stuff. But wait till the rubber hits the road. Because, again, that's what Rand Paul's talking about, where he's like, they got to go through Congress if they want to change the budget for real, which means Doge has to convince Trump to yell at Republicans to make them do what he wants them to do. And the assumption that they're just gonna because they share the same party is ridiculous, because Doge doesn't need to get reelected. Republicans do. And again, the senators are even worse, because those are the guys that really hold the keys to the kingdom as far as money goes. And they've got 6-year terms. A bunch of them just got elected to terms that will be there after Trump leaves. The next round will be, they'll only have 2 years of Trump and 4 years of their own stuff. So they're not going to shoot their own fucking constituents in the foot, especially in red states who rely on more federal spending than blue states do. I'm telling you, they're like, never underestimate Donald Trump's ability to fuck up a free lunch. And on that note, love you guys. Sorry to keep you waiting and worrying. I apologize, but it's just the nature of doing the show on the road with family and stuff. You can see the basement ducting and I think that's an elliptical right there. There's a ping pong table and a gun range down here. I am indeed in Ohio. And until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. Thank you guys so much. Much love, and I'll talk to you later.